G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part number 12 of my Piercing Blademaster playthrough with Stabitha. Mollema, this one's for you, buddy. You get this a day early because you asked for it. Right, I went and did some Cronley runs, and by some, I mean one, in between episodes, and I want to change some gear up. Now, the reason I haven't done this previously is mostly due to resistances, but it does look like I can make some changes now. Like I said, I went and did one run through Cronley. I got myself another pair of the Perdition shoulders. I basically have the whole set at this point. If I go and get the... if I come down here to the Conclave of the Three, and then I run all through here up to the Oasis, get the book, and come back, I have enough pieces to have the whole set except for one item. Actually, no, I have the whole set. I have 3 spares, plus I'm wearing 2. So I actually have the entire set. It is, however, probably not something that I'm going to do, because I would need to go and get transmuting, and then I would also need to pay the cost of transmuting, and yeah, no. So, I have got that. Also, this ring dropped for me. Now, like I said, I killed Cronley exactly one time, and this dropped for me, so I'm going to take this. Now, +3 to laceration is useless because that is this one over here, which is bleeding on an attack that I'm not going to use. So this is basically +3 to Circle of Slaughter, which is good, definitely good, we like that. More crit damage, more pierce damage, more chance to fumble, great stuff. Adds bleeding damage, which is kind of whatever. And this is just a straight upgrade over the Harvest Blade Seal in terms of attack speed, piercing resistance, poison and acid resistance, elemental resistance. I think this will actually give me more health as well. Yes, it does. So that is a straight swap that I'm going to make. I will need to swap the Soul Shard off of this, and I think I'm just going to melt this ring and keep the add-on here. Now, Vitality is not going to be capped, but 78 is pretty good. It's going to be about 10% extra damage from Vitality compared to what I could be at. So I'm pretty happy with that. The Murderer's Breastplate and Cowl are interesting in that I like the Monster Infrequent bonuses you get. +3 to Ring of Steel on this, a bunch of extra damage on Ring of Steel. It's bleeding, but it is extra damage. And then the Murderer's Breastplate here, +3 to Dual Blades is extra armor, and I mean, what else do we get out of it? Flat piercing damage. Okay, so it's just really, really good. +3 to Shadow Strike is more damage, which is good. And then this one has a whole bunch of stats, which I like, and chance to avoid projectiles. I think that comes from the Renegades, but it may be on the base MI. I don't use these often, so I'm not 100% familiar. But these are good, but not enough armor for me to use them. And I would like to use this rare heavy chest armor. Unfortunately, I'm not strong enough, so I can't. So that is some of the gear I found. And this ring also is good for resistances, but otherwise kind of not really. Okay, so what can I swap in? Now, I do want to use these at level 50, just for the armor, if nothing else. This Devil's Cage Hauberk, I mean, I'm not interested in the damage, although that flat physical will be converted. But that's a lot of health, physical resistance, +2 to Warcry is nice, I guess. But going from 400 armor to 1050 is huge. So I do want to use that. Looking at resistances, it's basically a loss across the board except for the physical. The Logorian's Shoulders, that's another armor upgrade. And resistance-wise, we'd be swapping Chaos for Poison and Acid. It's kind of whatever. Soleil Sect Leg Guards I would like to use, but this is a very large downgrade in armor. I think I want to actually... Do I want to use these? I think I want to for the attack damage converted to health, but I also don't want to because of the armor, and because we have this one coming. I think I'm going to chuck that in the sell me pile. I could go and farm another couple of these. Let me just check what level the next pair is. Let's go Soleil. And I'll have to click on the green thing. There we go. So level 30, then level 60. Okay, so that's probably not going to happen for quite a while. This Herald stuff, yeah, I don't think I'm going to use that either. I have this one coming in 3 levels. It's almost certainly not going to happen. And these boots, I've been wanting to make this swap for quite a while. Let's just see if I can. Poison will be back with the component if I put it on there. Aether, we can't get Aether on the chest from a component. So I will have an Aether hole, which is not great considering where we're up to. Yeah, I think I probably just have to do that at this point, just for the armor increase. Armor on my boots is still kind of a little bit low compared to where it could be. So I think I have to make that change. And then Cutthroats of Readiness here is pretty good. I did just gain +3 to Circle of Slaughter. So I'm kind of okay with that as well. Let's make this swap now. And we'll go ahead and keep the add-on here. So I've already got 2 Aether Souls and a Runestone, and my Aether Res is only 61%. That's actually crazy low. I'll get a little bit more from this belt when I go ahead and make that swap. And I think I'm pumping Fighting Form at the moment. Okay, so that's kind of okay. I do want my Anti-Venom Salve back. Chuck that on the boots there. And then I don't have anything on my chest piece. Now, I can maybe look at some Chains of Oleron here. Just get some attack speed would be okay. Let's see if I have one. Yes. So Chains of Oleron, move speed, sorry. And offensive ability. Well, I do like offensive ability. Also, I'm mousing over an item that's equipped. Actually, does it work on inventory items? No, it doesn't. Mousing over an item that's equipped, and then anything I can place on it in my inventory will light up, which is pretty good. Hallowed Ground could be okay for that elemental resist. Could reduce some pressure there. I think we just go with Chains of Oleron, and then I just, whenever anything comes up that I need to plug a gap, I'll just melt that and it'll be fine. Alright, so let's talk to Amala and get my free Tonic of Reshaping here for resetting my attribute points. I'm just going to vendor all of this stuff. I do want to get these out of here, but I think we'll leave the hidden path for a little bit. And we've got gear coming up in another couple levels. Do I need to keep this? Chaos Res. No, I think we'll ditch that as well. Alright. So +1 to soldier skills, not amazing, but it's 8 skill points. +1 to Nightblade would be better, but we need Honored with Devil's Crossing, and we're not really close to that. I don't really want to farm Cronley now that I have 2 decent rings. So we'll leave that alone, I think. Alright. Find Barrowholm, that's fine. Follow the emissary. No. Report to Barnabas. Let's go talk to him. And then we can head back to... ooh, that's a lot, isn't it? Okay, that's a lot closer. We're like, what, 500 or 600 away now? 5 plus 600 away? Okay, it's nowhere near close enough for me to want to do that. Alright, so we found Barrowholm. Let's go talk to them. And then we can start doing their quests at this point. One thing I don't love is the 2 movement skills which both require a target. Because if there's no target, then you're stuck walking. Which is not the end of the world, but it's also... I don't like it. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. Scorv here. I want the fetish. I want to be friendly with them. I generally almost always stay friendly with Barrowholm. The advantages to it are just too much. If you attack them, you can never fight the Reaper. You miss out on XP. You miss out on all of the augments and potential gear from their faction shop. And unless you need some of the monster infrequents from the Reaper of the Lost, who you can fight in Shattered Realm anyway, even if you choose to side with them, Unless you need his monster infrequents or Namadea's monster infrequents, there really is no advantage to it. I think the two-handed gun, Primal Strike gun, was it? There's something going on with the guns in the cellars in the most recent patch as well. So maybe if you need the guns, you could justify it, but otherwise, I mean, there's just no reason to do it. You lose too much, in my opinion, anyway. There is always the argument of cannibals are evil and you should side against them just based on that, and I mean, that's fine. That's a choice you want to make. I can respect that. I guess I'm a little bit power gamery, but it is what it is. All right, let's get some wards. We also have to rescue Lunch. As I said, Barrowholm, they are cannibals, so we are out here looking for lunch for them. Desolation, I don't think I want that. Let's just have a look. +1 to Shaman and a bunch of lightning stuff. No, thank you. There we go. We'll just get through here pretty quickly. Haven't seen this guy for a while. It's pretty good. Ring of a Living Ring. That is decent for resistances, but otherwise, no. Alright, here is the first half of lunch. Let's throw them into a roof gate, and then we will go and crack some crabs. Alright, cool. Is it this way? No, it's not. It's this way over here. Gotta go around. If you could give me the lightning plant, that'd be great. Not the lightning plant. That's alright. We can survive through that. Alright, Arcane. This guy died really fast. I am definitely feeling like my damage is doing pretty well. We do have weapon upgrades coming up soon as well. I want to say 52 for the weapon upgrade. I'd have to check. Actually, let me go ahead and check the weapon upgrade as well. So we are Dermap Terran. We have level 20, then we have level 35, then we have, yeah, it is 52, yep. So a couple levels, I'll go kill a whole bunch of bugs, just upgrade the weapons. You can definitely get away with not upgrading your armor for a decent amount. Like, I mean, you look at my health bar, it's barely moving. If you're not playing on hardcore, you could probably use this gear that I have at the moment into ultimate, at least. As long as your resistances are decently good, you'd probably be fine. If you're playing hardcore, I wouldn't recommend it, but hey, it's up to you. You definitely can do it. But you definitely want good weapons if you can get them. The faster you kill things, the less damage you take. Because dead things usually don't hurt you. I mean, they leave goop on the ground, then that can definitely be painful. But usually dead things... You know what? I'm going to say it like this. Dead things can't attack you. Blades of Wrath rank 2. Okay, leveling up. This little section here, I haven't really spoke about what I'm doing in the cave here. We're hunting crabs. Specifically the ones with yellow names, and they are like pit creepers, or pit cairns, or pit something. Pit creeper, there we go. And we need to kill all of them. So just here, where I just was, make sure you stand there, because there's crabs that hide under the ground there. And they have cost me many a time of running back. I mean, I say many, it's probably like 3 or 4. But you definitely don't want to miss them. There is loot in the walls here. Just down here as well is potentially a treasure trove. And then the first spot I think is up there. But I haven't managed to find it yet, which means it's probably going to be against the wall along the side here. Fiend Leather Girdle, no. Is there another one? I always think there's 2 in there. Okay, let's keep pushing. We are going to be getting into... I was going to say... Oh no, there it is. Yeah, Ancient Savage. I was just about to mention the totem, but I was expecting it a little further south. Okay, remember to poke your head into all these little side rooms. Some of them do have, again, crabs under the ground. And you don't want crabs under the ground. Yeah, I was thinking the totem was here. Treasure trove, yep, right next to it. Lovely. I will take that. Blow the chest open. Let's turn the loot off just so I can see what's going on here. I'm standing in goop, which is not where I want to be. Alright. Got the crab here. These guys, pretty good chance that they're going to drop a +1 skills belt. Looks like he didn't this time. The dead ones drop Inquisitor +1, and the alive ones drop Soldier +1. So if you're looking for those, keep that in mind. The Honed Burnt Broadsword here is the level 37 version of the level 15 sword. So if you wanted to, you could use this. It's probably a downgrade now, but Ring of Steel proc, plus potentially another proc, it could be okay. Can't afford to use those, not strong enough. Mystic of Olzorn's Flame, no. Demonic of Haste, I do like Haste on my boots. That is an armor upgrade. Pierce Resistance, I don't think I need that at all, yeah. These boots could be okay. I'm not really using Blitz or Blindside for damage, although I don't even have Blindside yet, but more skill points here would shred additional defensive ability, so that could be an argument for the Dreadnought footpads. I think the only argument for Dreadnought footpads is the physical resistance, and the argument for these boots is everything else. The plus percentage damage from both of them doesn't mean anything. I think these are more of a side grade, honestly. Let's go ahead and chuck these out. I'm going to hang on to those. I'll probably pick which one I'm going to use when I put them on. Okay, let's just pick all this up. That's a pet thing. That's a weapon I'm not going to use. That's a gun I'm not going to use. Broadsword, I'm not going to use it. Okay. This is all just loot. Aether resistance on my gloves. No, that's fine as well. Okay. Pop this bad boy open. Remember, like I said, poke your head over here into all the nooks and crannies. There is another place that I've missed a few times, just over here. These chests here. Yep, there we go. So there's often... Oh, hated with the beasts. Okay. Chupacabra is on his way. Also, you can sometimes get some on this side, so if you go up around this way, you will... Here we go. You will sometimes have to do both sides. Usually this section here, you're not going to get pit creepers. It's all undead stuff, but, you know, better to be safe than sorry. Okay, say hello to the Naxxon Shade. This is the boss of the mines/dungeon. It's going to be Aether Goop on the ground, and as soon as it dies, there'll be more Aether Goop on the ground. There it isn't. Alright, +1 to Inquisitor skills there. Of Squalls gives it a lightning proc, which is not horrible. Not going to use it, obviously, but, you know, could be alright. What does that belt I have? Is that level 55? Yeah, okay. So I've been up here. I've been all around this little circle. I definitely want to poke my head back in there because there's some loot in the walls that I left behind, and I want it. But at this point, I am pretty sure that I have... Well, I would have been wrong. There was a couple of pit creepers. I was going to say I'm pretty sure I've killed everything. As it turns out, not so much. This is the loot that's in the walls. There's a little body here. Get a couple of rares out of it. You're probably not going to use it, but again, I enjoy the hidden loot. If you're looking for this sort of stuff, you spin your camera around, you can kind of see that you can walk in there. The easiest way to find all of the hidden loot in the game is to have the map up, grimtools.com/map, and it'll just show you where they all are. The second easiest way is to spin your camera around all the time. It does make it hard to navigate. If you're anything like me, as soon as you turn the camera around, you just have no idea where you're going. I get lost pretty much immediately if I start doing that. But if you're, you know, a god gamer, like, I know Rattosh does it, Wrecked by Protoss, I know he does it. But yeah, if you can do it, it's a really good way to see things that you might otherwise miss. I'm just going to do a quick lap here. I don't think there's anything up here, but I can afford to spend the time looking just in case. Alright, I'm going to check here. Ice Scorn, Stone Shells. I don't think there's a Pit Creeper in there, but let's kill them anyway for sure. And I think at this point I'm done. I think I've killed everything. I think everybody's dead. I'm willing to leave now. And we'll push on here. So if you haven't got your... Where is it? I've got Venom Gaze, Bile. I don't have the other one. Okay, so I'm going to get my Alpha Horn from this guy right here. There it is. Once again, I apologize for whoever it was who pointed this out to me. This came from the comments. This is not my own knowledge. But he will always drop one of those. So if you haven't got one yet, you can always get one there. Who are you? Bone Nash. Or Bone Ganache, if you want to say it wrong. Right, is this is the last ward? No, there's two of them. Okay, fortunately, I don't need to kill the pit creepers outside of the mine. Okay, reactivate the wards. And I guess we're gonna go. Yeah, we gotta go down this way. I think I mentioned this last time I ran through here. Maybe potentially on the infiltrator. The Nemesis change, I like how they can spawn anywhere once you've killed enough stuff, but I dislike how you're not constantly watching the map, looking for that skull on the map, and just waiting for Chupacabra to jump out from behind the bushes. Also removed the ability to defend yourself with knowledge. So if you know where all of the old spawn points were, where all of the places where you could get a Nemesis were, then you didn't have to watch the map like you're paranoid, because you know Chupacabra can spawn here, but he's not going to spawn up here. So there was benefits and also downsides to the change. Overall, honestly, I think it's more of a side grade. I don't think it's better, but it's not worse either, I think. I like the old system, but the new system is also good. Alright, so we got one more pack of lunch to collect, which is almost always in the same place. I'm beginning to think it can only spawn in that place, so I don't remember ever seeing it in there. I want to say there's two places down here that I have seen it, but that could just be me misremembering or just making stuff up in my head. Alright, you can devour my heart over there all by yourself. Alright, here we go. Maureen, get in the gate. And we are pretty much done at this point. We can go back to Barrowholm, turn a bunch of quests in. Okay, didn't know this could spawn here. So this chest is a trap. There's a few places I know of that it can spawn. This was not one of them. There we go, a couple of blues. And that's kind of it. So, not amazing. But, hey, free loot is free loot, and the XP and the reputation. Getting rovers stuff. How are we doing with the rovers, actually? Just respected. Okay. Got a little ways to go. The next set of faction gear I want to have a look at is level 50. Black Legion has some boots that I often use. Maybe shoulders. We'll see how we go. Let's actually go turn these in first, because Scorv doesn't care until I've done that. Right, so next quest. There's level 48. What is it? Okay, if you get the option here, I've already dealt with your pests. It means you killed the crabs. You got them all. If you didn't get that, it means you get to go back and go find the other ones. There we go. It's incredibly frustrating. Alright, I'm dumping everything into fighting form. I think once I... Hang on, how many plus targets are we getting? Yeah, 11 out of 12 is the juicy cutoff from memory. So as soon as I have that, I think I'm going to swap over to Cadence. What's the problem? Yes, 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 I'll deal with Laria. Give me the fetish. I love a good fetish. Let's go to Ogdenburg. So when we came through here the first time, I probably said something like, hey, that's Laria's house, and we can't do anything about it because we don't have the quest. Well, now we have the quest. So let's go do something about it. Burning Bloom. Okay, lovely. Ogden Bloom. Can't complain about getting more Ogden Blooms. Getting a little bit zippy now. If I remember to use them. Having two movement skills that both go to targets is both a blessing and a curse. Because I don't have a target, so I can't go anywhere. But when you do have targets, you can zip all over the place. Alright, so Laria is a... I'm going to call it a fun fight, in that... I mean, the fight itself is pretty easy. You can warn her that the Wendigo cult is chasing her. You know, I'm here to warn you about them. Or you can say I was sent here to kill you, or you can just attack. I'm just going to attack because I value the Barrowholm reputation a lot more than I value the Coven reputation. Coven is almost always the first thing that gets maxed out. Almost always. So getting more of something you don't really need, to me, is a lot less valuable of a little bit of something you do need at the expense of something you don't. So I almost always kill Laria. Just for the reputation. And, you know, she does also have some monster infrequence, so if you're doing fire, lightning, or cold builds, maybe one of those swords that she has might be good for you. Alright, let's go ahead and vend her while we're here. Miss Wheeley, if that really is her name. And I need to be careful what I sell here. Okay, Turin's gloves. Okay, that's a lot of attack speed. I do like that. Plus 3 to Markovians, also quite good. I don't think I'm going to use those because of resistances. But it is a definite maybe. So I'm going to hang on to it. That's definitely a no. Alright, there we go. Right, Scorv is out the back here this time. He's got a lovely new hat, actually. It's pretty fabulous, that hat. There it is, look at that. Big bone with glowing eyes. How has the bone got glowing eyes? It doesn't even have eyes. Anyway, Laria's dead. So 2 Blood of Chthon, bunch of reputation. And unfortunately, he doesn't like us enough to give us the Honored quest yet. But the Honored quest is actually pretty good. We are miles away from that, though. Let's go ahead and do a whole bunch of turn-ins here as well. Are we going to get the Honored with Coven? Probably not. Probably not. Here it is. What do we do? How this help me? It's the best we've got. What do you have in mind? Will these suffice? Go on. Continue. Continue. I'm done with that. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, done. One day I'm going to do a playthrough where I actually sit and let those play out, so people who are interested in it can watch it, but not today. Alright, we rescued the witches already. You're welcome, glad they're safe. Procs going up, amazing. Scrap, good. Mark of Illusions, whatever. Alright, what do we got? Go to the altar, and is that it? Okay, yeah, so this will be the Honored quest, and we are... or maybe Respected, sorry. We're not there yet, so that's fine. Let's head on through. Actually, before I do this, I do want to check my resistances. I think this is fine. Heading through the Chthonic Plane to Malmouth, you want Chaos Res as high as you can get it, you want Vitality Res as high as you can get it, and you want Fire Res, especially Fire. Must be capped out. One of the bosses in there does a ton of those damage types, and you really, really don't want to fight him if you can help it with less than capped resistances. A couple of percentage points is probably okay. Before I do, let's just go ahead and bank as well. And if you know what you're looking for, you can dodge the volcanoes and you'll probably be fine. Not sure I want to risk my hardcore character on probably, but you definitely can. A lot of what makes hardcore hard is lack of knowledge, if that makes sense. You can, for example, my gear is way better than it needs to be to get through this area. So the more you know an area, the more you can, maybe be lazy is not the right term, but you can have worse gear and still get through, if that makes sense. Most of hardcore is just a knowledge check. Do you know that the at the bottom of Twin Falls here, or at the under the Arcovian Undercity, do you know that on level 3 you're going to get slammed with vitality damage? If you do, you'll be fine. You can go there with crap gear. As long as your vitality resistance is fine, you'll be fine. If you don't, that's the first major source of vitality damage in the game. And, you know, Kilrian's probably not going to kill you, but he definitely can. Same with Bolvar. Bolvar? What's his name? The guy with the Chaos Pistols over here in the Blood Grove. If you know about him, then you know that he's actually pretty dangerous, and you need to have Chaos resistance. But if you don't know about him, then you're probably not going to have that Chaos resistance, and you're just going to get basically insta-jibbed. I was going to say one shot, but it's definitely not one hit. But he'll just kill you. So a lot of what you do in hardcore is a knowledge check. I definitely over upgrade my gear when I'm playing characters that are not being recorded for the channel. So there's obviously no one doing a play along. Then I do skip a lot of stuff. I will leave items longer between upgrades. So it's down to you how safe you want to be, I guess. I tend to play very safe when I'm doing a recorded playthrough, and I tend to be a little more fast and loose when I'm not. Not a huge amount more. If I'm going to do that, I'll just use a merit and XP pots and just skip through a whole bunch of stuff. Alright, so we have made it to the altar of Rattosh. Grab the free XP, grab all this stuff. Any more for any more? Anyone in the ground? Anyone want to come out and play? Doesn't look like it. Okay. So, before you go in, high resistance on Chaos, on Vitality, and on Fire. Everything else, good to have. Let's do it. So I like to run over to the left in this section because there is an Exalted stash over here. And I like Exalted stashes, especially around level 50 because we start potentially getting purple items from the Exalted stashes. This skull right here, you see the spine on the map. This is the first place you can check for your Exalted stash. Mine's not there, so I'm going to head up the left side, and I'm going to hope to find my Exalted stash up here on the top left. Okay, Wraithenite Pauldrons are not horrible, but they're not really for this build. More of a cold or vitality thing, I think, from memory. Alright, so I'm on the lookout for my stash. That was not great. On the lookout for my stash up here and on the left. And no, it's not here. Okay. At this point, I could keep running around trying to find it. I'm actually going to give up and go ahead and jump through the portal. Spending time looking for stuff like this, yeah, you can do it. A lot of the time, though, it's kind of not worth. Unless you know where the other spawn points are, and these two are the ones that I know. There's probably one additional one, so at least in theory, I know exactly where you know what? Fine. I talked myself into it. Let's bring up the map here. Is this cheating? Yeah, probably. Do I care? A little bit, little bit. Yeah, there's one other spot it could be, and it is pretty much where I thought it would be, but I was obviously didn't know that. One of the things about having the map is you know exactly where to go to hit all of the things. It can be good if you're trying to work out a good path to get through areas. I probably probably shouldn't have come back for this. Vile Scorn leg plates are not horrible, but they're not particularly amazing either. Two good resistances, pretty subpar armor, and retaliation stuff. It's kind of no good. It's not bad by any means, but it's not great. Just having a quick look at some of the other gear I've got here. And yeah, that was Vitality and Cold. Alright, cool. Well, that was a little bit of a waste of time. However, I did hit all three of the potential locations for the Exalted Stash. Often I will say something along the lines of, if you have to go looking for the Exalted Stash, it's not worth the time. Just keep pushing. Or when you get to level 100, if you have to go looking for the Exalted Stash, like it's not on your path, then it's not worth the time. Just go do another totem. And that's definitely true. But sometimes you just want to go and get things. Not everything has to be the most efficient ever. I mean, if it did, we'd be playing Force Wave, right? Okay, so Void's Edge here. This is the part of the game where we get to fight Echidzul. Echidzul is probably the scariest thing in the Ashes of Malmouth expansion, in my opinion. That is an opinion, and obviously other people will disagree and have their own bugbears. Echidzul is the only boss in the Ashes of Malmouth expansion that has actually cost me a character. Actually, that's a lie. Theoden has also killed one. But this guy's killed 2 or 3. Usually when I'm being lazy and not putting my resistances up. Alright, so when you get to this head on the ground here, he's going to spawn right here. He's going to flap down from above. I'm watching out for when he leans forward and flaps his wings. That is going to be a kind of a whirlwind attack that will sunder me. And then when he kind of does like a Kamehameha thing where he thrusts his hand out towards you in a casting animation, that is him putting a volcano underneath you and you need to move. So let's go kill him. I'm not expecting this to be super hard. It is still veteran. So wings should be soonish. There they are. So dodge the sunder. I'm going to go around here. Volcano. Nope, he's just dead. Okay, he didn't cast a volcano. But he'll kind of like pull his arms back and then shove his palms towards you. I don't know why I'm doing the movement. Nobody can see it, but you get the idea. If you see that, there'll be a little mound, a little volcano underneath you. And you want to get out of that. Because if you get hit by one of the little balls from it, it tickles a bit. But if you get hit by like 3, 4, 5 of them in one go, it'll hurt a lot. This little section from Echidzul's house all the way through here until you get to Ogrim, you don't have to fight anything. Once you get to about here-ish, all the monsters will stop chasing you and they'll go back to wherever they were. Speaking of Ogrim, here he is. Now, before I talk to him, some things to point out is first, when he got sucked into the Void's Edge, I guess, when he got sucked in here, he just straight up killed the Logorian in the Logorian's house. Okay, so keep in mind, he did what we did, but in the Logorian's house. Like, this is his home. He lives here. So Ogrim is kind of on par with the player character. Let's have a look at my stats. I might actually fight him. Lifesteal, only 10%. Okay. This is a mistake, alright? I'm going to fight him. And now, I don't normally do this. So I'm looking at... What's my PS Res? PS Res is capped. He is basically a Nightblade. Yeah, I'm going to fight him. I don't recommend doing this if you're playing on hardcore, and I'll show you why. So we can talk to him. I'm not the Emperor. I'm your friend. Okay. Oh, I picked the wrong one. Okay. Alright, there's an option in there where it says mistakenly attack or just attack or something like that in brackets at the end of it. If you want to fight him, you're going to need to pick that one and be ready for the fight of the expansion. He is probably harder than Echidzul. I mean, I just stood there and blew Echidzul up. I would probably have to disengage a couple of times from Ogrim. He will Shadow Strike at you. There is an achievement for beating him, and if you're going to try and get that achievement, I would recommend dropping down to normal to fight him. Maybe I'm over-egging this, but yeah, it is a risky fight. So, although I did say I was going to fight him, I'm also kind of not upset that I clicked the wrong options. And now I don't have to fight him, or I can't fight him, rather. I did have every intention of doing it, but maybe on Ultimate. Okay, we've got hidden loot here, and also these guys. Do keep your eyes open for these Dread Guards, I think it was, the big alien dudes with the wings. When you see their aura, maybe not him, but certainly some of them have auras, and that will reduce your maximum health by like 25% or 20%. So your health bar will go from 10,000 down to like 7,500 or 8,000. Alright, Ogrim's here. Don't forget to talk to him, because otherwise, if you don't talk to him, you will have to come back and talk to him later. I miss him a lot. Alright, how are we doing for time? I think we can go probably up to the city. Maybe, we'll see. Lots of Chthonians on the outskirts here. They are getting ready to assault the city, or they were assaulting the city. Anyway, they're fighting the Ethereals, who currently own the city. Vanguard's obviously somewhat terrifying. And that quest, as always, gives you a blueprint that you've already learned. I can't remember ever getting a blueprint that I didn't already know from that quest. I'm sure it happens, but I don't remember it ever happening. Alright, let's work our way down here. There is going to be a ton of Chthonians to kill, a ton of cult members to kill, and then we're going to get started on the Ethereals. And this is a problem. I need to find some Aether resistance, and I need to do it very, very quickly, because I don't really want to be using resistance potions, although I could. Definitely could be using resistance potions. And I may have to. It'll depend on what gear I can find. This may be a good time to go and farm myself a +1 soldier belt. Nope, this one already has Aether res on it. But go and getting like a warding. I think it's warding. Is it warding? Purifying? I forget. The yellow prefix with Aether resistance anyway. Let me just check what that is. I am absolutely kind of cheating. Yeah, it is warding. Getting a warding belt would be a pretty good shot. This looks like it's a little bit scary here, actually. Mage Blood, okay. Shadow Spine Enforcer, no. Treasure Trove. This is actually the only spot where this spawns that I actually know where to go to check it, and it's just because it's on my normal path. The other spots, wherever they are, and I'm sure there are at least one, probably 2 or 3 other spots where that can spawn. I don't know where they are. What I am looking for is the water feature that I call the tap. You could also call it a gun, especially if you're American. I love how the rest of the world just thinks Americans think about nothing but guns. I'm sure some of them do, but I'm sure it's not most of them. Okay, Totem, let's go. Turn the loot off. You have to die immediately. Those things, they are scary. Alright, what do we got? Deathrite handguards, no. Silk touch hand. Ooh. Okay, this is... I mean, it's only a little bit extra Aether res. No. And the Adept Scepter, I'll just eat that. 8% XP gained for an amulet. It's a little expensive. Where is my tap here? I think I've missed it. Oh no, it's there, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so the tap. We're looking for these. There's 3 of these in this area. One of them is going to have the portal, and we want to find the portal. Let's just go ahead and murder all these walking rocks. Grab the free XP. There's level 50. Okay. So when I'm talking about the tap or the gun, this is the body of water that I'm talking about. What are you, charger? Okay, kind of don't care. Yep, so this is the one I'm talking about. And now you can imagine if there's a wall here and you've got a tap on top and the water comes out here. Or obviously, here's the handle of the gun, pew pew comes out here, and that's the hammer, or the striker, or whatever it's actually called. I'm Australian, they don't let us have guns. Okay, so follow this, and it points towards the first of the red circles. Now, your portal may be here, might not be, mine isn't. So I'm going to head kind of north-northwest. It's basically straight up, but a little bit to the left. And I'm going to find another potential location where it isn't. Which is okay, it means I get to show all 3. So this is the 3rd location where it could be. This is the 3rd location where it isn't. Time to get some physique, I think. Also time to swap, probably to cadence. Deadly momentum is where you get most of the damage from cadence from. But I think 11 points in fighting form is kind of the minimum you need to make this usable. And even then, realistically, I want the cadence MIs. I'm not going to get them, but I definitely want them. Okay, do I want more points in here? I think I do. I think I'll leave it for now, though. Let's pump bars. I do want field command. I definitely want Warcry. Warcry is going to be one of the better defensive skills we have access to. I definitely want squad tactics. I probably want a point in Decorated Soldier. I want 7 of 8 on Scars of Battle. I probably want 1 point in Break Morale. Break Morale is really useful, not for the physical resistance shredding, which we don't care about. The Disrupting Targets skills for 3 seconds is really good because you yell at them, they can't use their skills, so they start walking towards you. So really, really useful. So there's a lot more in the soldier tree that I want. I definitely want the... I want Menhir's Bulwark. Unfortunately, requires a shield or a 2-handed weapon, so I guess I want Oleron's Rage. And we don't need to fight all this stuff. From the second one, if you just head due west, you will find... I think we're going to find Dahlia, whatever her name is, rather than the actual portal. But it's one of them. Yeah, it is Dela. Okay. So Dela's here. I'm going to put a rift gate down. And then later on, once I've got the quest items, I'm going to forget that it's there. I'm going to end the episode, and then I'll tell you at the start of the next episode that I turned all the quests in. Alright, here's my actual portal. I'm going to go in. I don't need to worry about this stuff. When I leave the Cinder Wastes here, it's going to put me at one of those 3 random portals, so I'll either kill that when I come out, or I won't ever see it again. Alright, so this area, if you imagine this whole area like a clock, I'm kind of about 11 o'clock right now, I think. I could be... No, I'm about 11. Yep. Checking over here for potential treasure trove. I'm about 11 o'clock. In the center of the clock is a portal to another layer of the Cinder Waste. There is a quest in there, but I'm not actually going to go and do it. That is also where you get the +1 to Necromancer skills belt, which obviously I don't need, and also the +1 to Occultist skills belt, which again I don't need. Around about, I would say, maybe 4:30 on the clock, so kind of down here-ish, is the guy we're looking for. And then there's also one more thing to talk about in this area, and that is I'm going to remember his name as soon as I see it. But there's one of these guys here. This is the aura. Note my max health. And when I kill them, it should go back up to 7k. That's what the aura was I was talking about earlier. And there is a hero of this. Is it Gabalthune? I think it is. He's in here somewhere. And he's a little bit scary. Probably you'll be fine. And keep your eye out for this Chthonic Rift, because that's your exit. It's going to be somewhere around the edge of the area. So keep your eye out for it. You will need to remember where it is. I'm probably going to forget at some point. And the minions of Dravis here, these are healers. They will heal each other, and they will heal Bandragos here, who is the guy we're actually here to kill. So let's get it. I'm going to make sure I can hit all of these at the same time. I'm going to put some damage onto all of them at the same time. There they go healing. There they go dying. Now, if you're playing a really high damage character, you can just hold left click on Bandragos and kill him, even through the healing. Or if you've got a lot of AoE damage, then you can... Ooh, off the grove. Then you can just hold left click on him, and you'll hurt everything and slowly whittle them down. Depending on how you want to do it, those are your options, basically. If you're on a really low damage character, you may need to kite and split them up. I've definitely done that. Here we go. It is Gabalthune. Yeah, the Visage of Madness. Alright, I'm going to take him out. I think I'm standing in goop. I'm definitely standing in goop. Down he goes. I grabbed the loot, and I'm just going to leave now. Now, I know where I'm going. Actually, I want to check for the treasure trove down here-ish. That's a lot of stuff. Oh boy, that's a lot of stuff. Okay, this could have been a mistake, but, well, in for a penny, in for a pound. Or in for a penny, let's rob the bank. However you want to use that old saying. Okay, I like XP. Yeah, here it is, cool. Formidable of Alacrity, that used to be really, really good. I did pick up the Geel relic here, or Guile. Do I have the blueprint, or do I have the capacity to make this? That is the question. I think I was going to make this on the Infiltrator, and I didn't have something for it. Let's go have a look. I need to get out of here, but let's see if we can make that. Juggernaut would also be acceptable. I do like Juggernaut. +1 to soldier skills. A heal, percentage heal with a flat heal, and also, here's my friends from earlier, and also regeneration. Really good defensive proc on a +1 to soldier skills relic. So it's really, really good. Alright. I am running out of time, so I'm going to run into town. I'm going to get the other item. There are 2 quest items for Dayla. I always want to call her Dahlia. Anyway, there's 2 quest items for her. I'm going to go and get the other one real quick. Then I'm going to clear the rift gate inside town. I'm going to rift back here, talk to her, and that's going to be the end of the episode. So this is normal, which means I don't care about the Lokar quest steps through here, so I don't care if I accidentally spawn the guy and kill him. Actually, I'm pretty sure he just doesn't exist on normal. Either way, I'm going to kill all this. Do we want to take the long route? No, I think I get my devotion shrine. And then I just go get the things I need to get. Alright, devotion shrine down here. Unasteria, the storm touched. Alright, she's got to go down. I am doing okay with my bargain basement level Aether resistance. I think it's going to be okay, but I definitely want more. There's always a ton of Aether damage on the floor in this place. So if you resist the low, just keep your eye out. on what you're standing in, because it could be death. All right, actually, we'll get the bookcase in here, then I'll go get the rift. Now, potentially, is it Tor Exterior? Torex? I forget. Something beginning with T. Potentially could be here. It's not here. Would have been between, sort of around this pole, I guess, if he was here. It's not home today. This is the quest item, Travis's letter. I'm just going to poke my head down here. I know I said I was just going to get what I needed and leave. Yeah, here he is. Turnox. There we go. Tor Exterior might be the bounty target in the, not the Steel Cap District, the last area. Alright, let's not get hit by that. Bounty Hunter's Shoulder Guards. Probably not going to use them, but let's have a look. Zeal also is not bad. 50% attack speed. That is definitely okay. Bounty Hunter's Shoulders, that's a lot of armor. Yeah. I'm going to hang on to those. I may actually use them, but I think I'm going to go with the Logorians ones that were there earlier. Having said that, we are done now, so let's get out of here. We do have to fight for the rift, which is unfortunate, but it'll be fine. Here we go. I'm going to turn the loot off just so I can see what's going on. You know the deal by now. Riftgate is swarming with ethereals. Well, it was, but then I killed them. And now they're all dead. Okay, we've got Desalis, we've got... they're all dead. Never mind. You can sometimes get heroes in here as well, so if you're farming mages, this is actually a really good spot to farm for the helmet. Alright, what do we got? We got basically nothing. Devastating with the eagle. No. Okay, what do we do now? Yep, I'm totally on it. In like 2 or 3 days' time. Okay, we can turn these 2 quests in here now. I think I have what you're looking for. What now? Been there, found his minions. Thank you for the weapon. Okay. On Ultimate, she has a set item she will give you, a set weapon she will give you. On Normal and Elite, she will give you a random blue item. So she has given me this one right here, Willie's Razor. Level 50 required. +1 to all Nightblade skills, which is very good. Attack speed, offensive ability, very good. Flat piercing and percentage piercing, very, very good. Does have 100% piercing conversion. Does have a huge amount of offensive ability. I like this, but I don't think, even though this says it's a DPS upgrade, I actually don't think this is a DPS upgrade. Because I don't gain any additional attack speed. I lose 24% weapon damage on one of my weapon pool skills. I lose a pile of flat piercing on another one. I lose attack damage converted to health on another one, or the same one, I guess. I don't think this is as good. However, I could potentially be talked into using it for a couple of levels. You are almost certainly not going to get that one, though. Okay, this is where I'm going to end this episode, so I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye for now.